To truly understand the power of the predator's mind, we must first recognize the supreme importance of relentless focus and discipline. Just as a predator does not stray from its mission, whether it's the hunt, the pursuit, or survival, neither should you. A predator is single-minded, cutting through distractions with laser focus, and this is exactly what sets them apart. The world today is full of noise and clutter, with endless distractions pulling us in every direction. But what separates those who achieve extraordinary success from those who struggle is the ability to channel your attention toward one singular goal and stick with it, no matter what. Imagine the hunter in the wild. Its eyes are fixed on its target, never wavering, never distracted by the wind, the sounds, or even the faintest movements around it. Every ounce of energy and effort is spent on achieving that one goal. That kind of commitment requires discipline, a discipline that forces you to shut out everything else, to tune into your purpose, and to stay the course no matter how difficult the path may be. Now, you might wonder, how does this apply to your life? The answer is simple. Everything in your life requires a decision and a plan, but most people don't follow through with either. They start something, but they fail when things get tough. They lose sight of their goals when the world pushes back, or when the first signs of difficulty appear. But a predator is not swayed by temporary discomfort. It doesn't allow doubt or fear to cloud its mind. It moves with purpose and decisiveness. In the same way, you must learn to develop the mental toughness to stay committed to your path. Think about the times when you've faced challenges. What did you do? Did you give in when the going got tough, or did you push through, holding fast to your vision, knowing that the reward would come only after persistence? This is the kind of relentless focus and discipline you need to cultivate in your own life. No one achieves greatness by half-hearted effort. The predators in the world, the ones who truly dominate their environment, are the ones who keep their eyes fixed on the target, who continue moving forward even when the odds are stacked against them. But it's not just about focus, it's about doing the right things day in and day out. A predator doesn't just wait for the perfect moment, it acts regardless of the circumstances. You must learn to push yourself beyond the surface level and get into the deep work. It's about building habits that reinforce your commitment and making sure that every step you take is aligned with your purpose. Consistency is key here. There's no room for shortcuts. The prey may get away for a moment, but the predator understands that with patience, with discipline, the hunt will eventually lead to success, and that's where most people fail. They stop. They stop just short of the breakthrough, just as the predator's target is within reach. When the pressure mounts, they lose their focus, and they fall victim to procrastination or discouragement. The key to mastering this mental edge is to never let up, never lose sight of what you're after, and to always get back on track if you stumble. Let me leave you with this thought. When you adopt the predator's mindset, you are no longer working just for the sake of work. You're working with intent. Your efforts are sharpened, your actions deliberate. The world around you might try to pull you in every direction, but you stand firm. You embrace the grind. You embrace the challenges. You keep your eyes on the prize, knowing that, with relentless focus and discipline, you will achieve it. The real power lies not in the strength of your muscles or in the size of your ambitions, but in the depth of your commitment, the intensity of your focus, and the unwavering discipline with which you pursue your goals. When you become the predator in your own life, the world has no choice but to yield to your relentless will. The second aspect of thinking like a predator is something that separates the truly great from the average. It's about cultivating instinctual awareness and adaptability. A predator does not rely on a fixed plan, nor does it simply move forward in a rigid, mechanical manner. Instead, it is constantly assessing its surroundings, adjusting, recalibrating, and responding to the ever-changing dynamics of its environment. The predator is always in tune with the world around it, and it's this sense of awareness that gives it a distinct edge over others. This is exactly what you need to develop: the ability to read the room, to feel the pulse of every situation, and to understand that what worked yesterday may not work today. We live in a world that is always shifting, always evolving, and if you are not constantly aware of the signals, the clues, the hidden opportunities that the world provides, you will find yourself left behind. Just as the predator doesn't rely solely on brute force, but uses its keen senses to understand its prey's behavior, you must use your intuition, your instincts, and your ability to read people, situations, and opportunities with precision. The greatest leaders, the ones who rise above the noise, are those who are not only aware of the environment, but can adapt to it. Adaptability is the true strength of any predator. You can't expect to walk into every situation and follow the same script. Success comes from the ability to recognize when something is working and when it isn't. When the world is throwing obstacles in your path, the predator doesn't panic. It doesn't waste time lamenting over its failure. Instead, it shifts, it pivots, it finds another way. It uses every bit of information, every signal, every moment of change to move forward. It adjusts its approach based on what's happening around it, ensuring that it remains in control no matter how much the circumstances try to disrupt its plans. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly paid attention to your surroundings? Not just the physical environment, but the subtler cues, the body language of others, the mood of the room, the shifts in the market, the whispers of opportunity that float just below the surface. Most people go through life with their eyes only half open, but a predator never misses a detail. It is constantly absorbing information, recalculating its next move, and staying one step ahead. This is what you need to do. You must train yourself to listen not just to the world, but to your own inner instincts, your gut feelings, your intuitive knowledge. Think about the times in your life when you've been caught off guard. Maybe you've experienced failure, or perhaps you've missed an opportunity that seemed to slip through your fingers. Why did that happen? Was it because you weren't paying attention? Was it because you didn't adapt to the signals around you? These are the lessons the predator teaches us. Life is a game of adaptation. The more aware you are of the signals, the more you are able to read the shifting tides of circumstances, the more successful you will become. The key to this mental edge is not just reacting to what's in front of you, it's about anticipating what's coming next. Predators understand this concept better than anyone. They are not passive. They are not waiting for something to happen. They are constantly analyzing, constantly adjusting, always ready to move in a new direction if the one they're on isn't working. Success doesn't come from blindly following the path laid out in front of you. It comes from creating your own path, from understanding that the best opportunities often require a shift in perspective. So, as you move forward in life, remember this: the world will never stop changing, people will change, markets will change, circumstances will change. The question is, how will you respond? Will you adapt like the predator, using your awareness to stay ahead of the game? Or will you be caught off guard, left behind by the forces you failed to see coming? The key to your success lies in your ability to stay sharp, stay alert, and adapt at every turn. Your awareness is your power, and when you harness it fully, you will find that the world bends to your will. The predator always moves with purpose, always stays ahead, and always uses its instincts to control the game, and so should you. To develop the mental edge of a predator, one of the most powerful tools you must wield is the ability to build confidence through risk-taking. Now, when we talk about risk, we're not speaking of reckless behavior or foolhardy decisions. We're talking about calculated, intentional risks that push you beyond your comfort zone and force you to grow. A predator does not hesitate when the opportunity for a kill arises. It is ready to act, to take the leap, to embrace the unknown with a steady mind and an unwavering belief in its own abilities. This is where most people falter. They avoid risk because they fear failure, because they are uncertain, because they worry about the outcome. But here's the thing, every success story, every breakthrough, every moment of greatness is built upon risk. If you don't take risks, if you don't face the discomfort and uncertainty head on, you will remain stagnant, trapped in a cycle of predictability and mediocrity. The predator doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't wait for everything to align before it takes action. It understands that to achieve greatness, it must take bold steps into the unknown. It knows that the risk is not a threat, it's an opportunity. Think of it like this. A lion stalking its prey knows that success isn't guaranteed with every strike. It understands that there are risks involved, but it doesn't let fear of failure paralyze it. It moves with confidence, knowing that its next move could lead to a feast. This is the mentality you must adopt. When you are willing to take calculated risks, you're showing the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you believe in your capacity to succeed. It is the first step toward building the kind of unshakable confidence that will carry you through even the most difficult challenges. But confidence doesn't come overnight. It's something that must be earned through experience. Each time you take a risk and face the consequences, you build your confidence step by step. You see, confidence is not a magical trait that you're either born with or not. It's the result of overcoming adversity, of taking risks, of putting yourself in situations where you might fail, and then rising again. The more you take those risks, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. This, in turn, strengthens your belief in your own abilities. The truth is, confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the ability to move forward despite it. The predator feels fear, it wouldn't be alive without it. But it doesn't allow fear to dictate its actions. Instead, it uses that fear as fuel to sharpen its instincts, to improve its approach, and to enhance its chances of success. It is this same mindset that you must adopt. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, every time you take that leap of faith, you are strengthening your mental muscle. You are training yourself to trust that no matter what happens, you will be able to handle it. You will adapt, you will grow, and you will come out stronger on the other side. Taking risks also teaches you resilience. It's in the moments of failure, of missteps, that your true character is formed. The predator doesn't stop hunting after a failed attempt. It doesn't second, guess itself or retreat in fear. It learns, it adjusts, and it tries again. This ability to bounce back, to embrace failure as part of the journey, is what truly builds confidence. When you see failure as a stepping stone rather than a setback, you are freeing yourself from the chains of self-doubt. You understand that every risk, whether it results in success or failure, is just another opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. So, ask yourself, what risks are you avoiding in your life? What opportunities have you passed by because of fear, uncertainty, or the comfort of the known? The predator doesn't wait for circumstances to change. It doesn't wait for the fear to go away. It takes action, it embraces the challenge, and it trusts in its own strength. If you want to cultivate the mental edge that separates the great from the weak, you must start taking those risks. And with each risk you take, you will see your confidence soar, your self-belief grow, and your success become inevitable. The world belongs to those who dare to take the leap, who dare to fail, and who dare to rise again. And so must you. One of the most profound aspects of a predator's mental edge is its ability to cultivate a dominant presence. When we think of a predator in the wild, we often picture it not just for its strength, but for its undeniable confidence, its control over its surroundings, and its ability to command attention without saying a word. This is the type of presence you must cultivate within yourself if you want to stand out in a world full of mediocrity and passivity. The truth is, people are drawn to power. Whether we acknowledge it or not, we respect those who carry themselves with an air of certainty, who project confidence in every move they make. The predator does this instinctively, and you can too, by mastering the art of presence. First, it's important to understand that cultivating a dominant presence is not about being loud or overbearing. It's not about forcing others to see you, or trying to prove that you're the biggest or the strongest. In fact, the most effective predators move with a quiet authority, drawing respect not through noise, but through their actions, their poise, and their clarity of purpose. When you walk into a room, do people notice you because you demand attention, or do they notice you because your very energy commands it? The answer to that question reveals the level of dominance you have cultivated in your own life. A true dominant presence comes from within. It's the result of belief in yourself and in your abilities. A predator does not guess itself. It knows what it's capable of, and it moves through the world with the unshakable confidence that it will succeed. This is the foundation of presence, a deep, unyielding confidence that radiates from your every action. When you carry yourself with that kind of assurance, others will be drawn to you naturally. They will see you not as someone to compete with, but as someone to follow. The way you stand, the way you speak, the way you approach challenges, all of it becomes a reflection of your inner strength. But this presence isn't just about confidence. It's also about clarity of purpose. The predator always knows where it's going. It doesn't wander aimlessly or hesitate when it's time to act. This clarity of direction is what makes its presence so powerful. People are not intimidated by someone who is uncertain or unsure of themselves, but they are drawn to those who know exactly what they want and move with deliberate intent toward their goal. You must develop this clarity in your own life. Know what you stand for, know what you want, and know how you plan to get there. This sense of purpose will not only sharpen your own focus, but it will also make others see you as someone who is resolute, someone who has mastered their mental edge. Another key component of a dominant presence is the ability to remain calm under pressure. A predator never panics. It doesn't lose its composure when the hunt gets difficult, when the stakes rise, or when things go wrong. It stays calm, stays focused, and keeps its eyes on the prize. This is a lesson you must learn if you want to develop a true presence. In times of stress, you can't afford to let your emotions dictate your actions. You must remain level, headed, confident, and in control. This ability to maintain poise, even in chaos, is what sets the strong apart from the weak. It's also about consistency. A predator doesn't have to prove itself every day because it's already proven it has what it takes. The same should be true for you. Your presence doesn't need to be hyped or exaggerated. It should be a natural extension of who you are and what you consistently bring to the table. The way you show up day in and day out will either reinforce your strength or undermine it. When you consistently demonstrate your value, your power, and your mental toughness, people will naturally begin to recognize your presence and respect will follow. Remember, true dominance isn't about overpowering others. It's about knowing your worth and standing firm in it. When you project confidence, clarity, composure, and consistency, the world around you will begin to bend to your will. People will naturally gravitate toward you, not out of fear, but out of respect. And when that happens, you'll find that the obstacles in your path begin to shrink. The more dominant your presence, the more the world will align with your purpose. In the end, a predator doesn't have to fight for attention or approval. It earns it through its unwavering strength, its relentless pursuit, and its calm authority. That is the presence you must cultivate. When you become that person, when you develop the mental edge to stand tall and move with purpose, you will find that the world cannot help but respect you. You will no longer have to chase success. It will come to you. The final key to developing the mental edge of a predator is mastering emotional control and focused rage. Now, I know the word rage might sound intense, even intimidating, but it's not the kind of uncontrolled fury that leads to reckless actions. No, the predator's rage is a controlled, focused energy, one that channels all of its emotions into a single, powerful force. This ability to control and direct your emotions is perhaps the most powerful tool in your arsenal. In life, emotions are powerful forces. They can propel you forward or drag you down. When you're angry, frustrated, or anxious, those emotions can cloud your judgment, create doubts, and lead you to make impulsive decisions. But the predator knows how to harness those emotions, not to be controlled by them, but to use them to fuel its pursuit. The first step in mastering emotional control is recognizing that emotions themselves are neither good nor bad. They are simply signals, indicators of what's happening within you and around you. It's what you choose to do with those emotions that truly matters. Imagine a predator in the wild. It feels the tension in the air. It senses the energy of its prey. The adrenaline builds, the fear, the hunger, the anticipation, they all stir within it, but instead of succumbing to chaos, it uses that energy with purpose. It channels it into sharp focus. It knows that if it loses control of its emotions, if it lets fear, frustration, or anger blind its vision, it will lose the hunt. It remains calm, focused, and in complete command of its actions. This is what you must do when you face your own emotional triggers. When life tests you, and it will, your emotions will rise. You may feel anger at an injustice, frustration at an obstacle, or fear at the unknown. But rather than allowing those emotions to derail you, you must learn to channel them into focused, purposeful action. The predator doesn't allow the rush of emotions to overwhelm it. It takes that surge of energy and directs it, not in a flurry of misguided reactions, but in a clear, calculated strike. This is the kind of control you must master. When you feel that surge of emotion, take a moment to breathe, to recalibrate, to focus on your goal. Use that energy to sharpen your instincts, to drive your actions with purpose. Think about the moments when you've let your emotions take control. Maybe you've lashed out in anger, made impulsive decisions out of fear, or let frustration prevent you from moving forward. How did that feel? Did it lead you closer to your goal? More often than not, uncontrolled emotions cloud our judgment and lead us further from our purpose. But when you can step back, regain control, and redirect that energy toward your goal, you become unstoppable. You transform emotion from a disruptive force into a powerful ally. Focused rage, when mastered, is a powerful weapon. It's the force that keeps you moving forward when everything inside of you wants to quit. It's the fire that burns in your chest, pushing you past the pain, the doubt, and the obstacles that would otherwise stop you. But it's not a blind rage. It's a rage that understands its target. It's a rage that aligns with your mission, your purpose, and your vision. When channeled correctly, it becomes an unstoppable drive. One of the greatest weaknesses of those who struggle in life is their inability to control their emotions. They are swept up by every disappointment, every setback, every rejection. But the predator's mental edge is built on resilience, on the ability to face the storm and remain steady in its course. It understands that obstacles are not barriers, but opportunities for growth. Emotions, like storms, can rage, but they do not have to control you. Instead, you can use them as tools to fuel your next move. The predator knows that at its core, emotional control is not about suppressing feelings, it's about mastery. It's about taking the raw energy of emotion and transforming it into something greater, into a focused drive that propels you toward your goal. This is the mental edge that separates those who achieve greatness from those who falter under pressure. You must remember that it's not the circumstances that define you, but how you respond to them. Emotions will always come. It's how you harness them that will determine whether they lift you higher or pull you down. When you learn to control your emotions, when you learn to harness that focused rage and channel it into productive action, you will find that no challenge is too great, no obstacle insurmountable, and no goal unattainable. The world will bend to your will because you, like the predator, will have learned to command the energy of your emotions with purpose and power. In conclusion, the predator's mind is not born, it is forged through intention, discipline, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. By embracing relentless focus and discipline, you begin to carve a path toward success that is unshakable, undeterred by distractions or temporary setbacks. Through instinctual awareness and adaptability, you gain the ability to navigate the ever-changing world around you, reading the signals, staying ahead of the game, and always ready to strike when the moment is right. When you build confidence through risk-taking, you open the door to boundless opportunity, knowing that every step into the unknown is simply a chance to prove your own strength and resilience. By cultivating a dominant presence, you command respect without uttering a word, and with emotional control and focused rage, you channel the storms of life into the energy that propels you toward your vision. Remember, the world does not wait for those who hesitate, those who shrink away from challenges, or those who allow fear to define them. It rewards the bold, the focused, and the unrelenting, the predators of this world who do not simply survive but thrive. You have within you the power to adopt this mindset, to sharpen your mental edge, and to rise above the noise of the weak and uncertain. The path to greatness is not an easy one, but it is a path that rewards those who are willing to take the risks, to face their fears, and to stay the course no matter the obstacles. The mental edge of a predator is not just about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself, your emotions, and your actions with clarity, purpose, and unyielding determination. So, go forward with the mindset of the predator. Take your risks, trust in your instincts, and step into your power. The world will not be able to ignore you. It will be compelled to follow your lead, and in doing so, you will achieve the greatness you were always destined for.